Hell, I feel like I'm going to burn for saying this, but they're currently a publisher I trust.
How times change.
I feel dirty now.
Yeah.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to that WCCF Tech show featuring Francesca. Hello.
Hello.
You're very quiet.
Yeah.
And
I'm still waking up.
Good
He's a
lad.
serial killer, remember? They can't make noise otherwise.
True. They
Yeah,
get caught.
We're silent. Yeah.
And
we're
we
silent.
have Alessio.
Yo,
And I look like I've just got out of bed. I'm going for the ruffled hairstyle, we'll say. So, a number of little topics today. Easy done. Go on, Alessio. Let's pick them at random. We'll not even give them the lowdown of what we're going to talk about. We'll just pick them at random. Pick a topic.
I mean, there's the news that Elden Ring is delayed officially, so you can say I was right? I'm gonna say that.
I don't need to say it. You've just said it for me.
It's just a month though, so it's
It was still a
small
delay. I called
yeah,
it.
but it's still small. 1 month.
Yeah.
It's not that long. The
No.
problem is that it's in February together with so many other games. So yeah.
Yeah, actually, it's now on the very same day of the Saints Row reboot, and I'm sure they're not very happy at Deep Silver.
No. Yeah.
It's a weird one. Same as anything. Delays are to be expected. Companies are finally realizing how far behind they got over the pandemic. It was inevitable. It was all inevitable. Every single game, even games that didn't get delayed, should have been delayed because they will have most certainly had a knock-on impact. Simple fact. As people work from home, the infrastructure hasn't been there, so. But some companies have just not delayed things, whereas Elden Ring's been delayed. It could be a case. I'm hoping this isn't a case of like a Cyberpunk where it should probably get delayed about 4 months, though. But we'll see.
No, the good thing is that actually probably decent amount of players will get to try the game soon.
Yeah.
And mid-November, they're going to be kind of a closed test, a network test. They are calling it everywhere but on PC for Chris's happiness. But
That bastard.
Yeah, turn on that PS5 now. You have to use it again.
So I guess we'll see how it performs, and if they are confident in making this even available to the public, not just the press, then it's probably already quite in a good shape, I think.
Yeah, you would think so.
Yeah, well, I think they probably want to be cautious because it's so big compared to Dark Souls and Bloodborne and Sekiro. So they probably want to make sure it's not. From Software games always have some issues at launch, so they probably want to minimize that because it's more open and it has a lot of new stuff, new mechanics that weren't in Dark Souls. So I think they were probably wanted to be more cautious than anything, like a cyberpunk situation where the game just wasn't ready.
Yeah, famously. Yeah, well, we know what we all thought. Well, I know what I thought about Cyberpunk. I haven't picked it up in so long.
I mean, since you basically served me the next topic on a platter, there is also the news that the Cyberpunk next gen update has been delayed, and also The Witcher 3's next gen update has been delayed as well.
Maybe they're not going to take it anymore. They're going to delay as much as they can now. They don't want that to happen again.
Yeah.
It's a fine balancing act, but the problem is the one time that a company needed to actually push to get something out is
Mm.
now with CD Projekt Red. They need desperately to get something to do with Cyberpunk out. Otherwise, there's no point.
Yeah.
The thing with The Witcher 3 is you can wait for that. People are happy to wait because that game, it's proven itself. It is an amazing game. It's one of the best ever made. Cyberpunk launched shit. It is, well, I don't even know if it is good because it's been that I played it for a bit and then I got bored and I haven't gone back to it.
Well, you know, it's the thing. It's the thing that people were expecting so much more, and I honestly liked it. I played it like for 80 hours, so I did like it. But I played it on PC, so it's mostly console problems and then overblown expectations. They were
Yeah,
just they overpromised on everything, and
agreed.
it's it's basic. I feel well, not really on the same quality level, but I think it is a Witcher 3 in a cyberpunk world. There are
Yeah,
many things that are pretty much the same.
Yeah,
So
I
yeah,
can
people were
understand that.
expecting, people were just expecting. It's not just
yeah,
people were expect. They were led to expect something more that it just isn't there.
But
yeah. I
At
mean,
least at launch. At
if
launch.
you take it as a kind of a GTA in a cyberpunk setting, yeah, then it's not near that level of interactivity with the world. But it does have great stories and missions. So just
yeah,
like everything.
it does. I think the issue is, it's like you say, people. The issue is, and it always will be the issue, the CD Projekt, um, they intentionally led people down that path of expecting something there.
Yeah.
I I don't. I know me and you had this conversation last year. I can't even remember if I wrote about it, saying that my big concern when it comes to Cyberpunk is how they're trying to pass off all these things that they showed at Gamescom at E3 as something organic when they were so incredibly scripted. I remember being in the room at one in one of the closed viewings at Gamescom, and they asked the audience, "Which path would you like to go down?" And I know for a fact most of the audience voted for one path, and they still went down the other path because that was the scripted reproach. And as soon as that happened, it's like, yeah, this is not ideal. So, yeah, I I want them to do good. I want CD Projekt to regain the trust. The base they've just had one really massive, monumental fuck up, and hopefully they can recover from it. Because if not, it's dangerous.
Yeah, actually, there is another piece of news this week about CD Projekt because they have acquired the Molasses Flood, which is a small studio. They have made games like Flame in the Flood, like smaller survival games, and now they will be working on something like that, of course, in one of CD Projekt's IPs. So I think maybe Cyberpunk, or I don't know, maybe even The Witcher.
It'll probably be Witcher because
Yeah.
I played the other games. I played some of their other titles, and yeah, they'll be able to make it very Witchery. Obviously because of the environments and everything. Making a cyberpunk style survival
Yeah,
game may be difficult, and plus the issue is Cyberpunk just isn't as big as The Witcher for obvious reasons. We've just talked about them.
Yeah. Yeah.
yeah,
They,
probably.
they want to make the main game right before they can start expanding it somehow. It just has a bad name. Everything with that name is not going to sell well
No,
until they fix everything. It's
and
just
they could very easily do. I always mention them. I could always mention the game No Man's Sky. They could very easily do a No Man's Sky, release content, make the game what it should be, and push it to the moon.
yeah.
Yeah, I mean
I also really want Cyberpunk. The one thing I want from Cyberpunk is to be able to visit the space station that keeps getting mentioned because it's got a casino there. I do like my in-game gambling, just not with real money.
Yeah.
Okay. We'll keep that in mind then.
But onto the next topic. Speaking of gambling and casinos, because these games had gambling and casinos in them. GTA, the remasters, finally got the trilogy remaster definitive edition. Whatever, it's all finally got a date, and it's in about a week, 2 weeks. Yeah, about 2 weeks
Yeah.
time, 2.5 weeks.
It's close, yeah. And we've got the first trailer. And well, it does look like pretty much what we expected, which is to say a remaster, which is pretty good, but not mind blowing. So there are some enhancements to improved shadows, lighting system, wider reflections, higher resolution textures, and also there are reportedly modern control upgrades, so improvements to targeting, lock-on aiming, and stuff like that. So it should feel a bit more like GTA 5 than the original games in terms of just the controls. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
Because I've got to be honest, GTA Vice City is still. I want to play it. I want to be I want to be the one playing the definitive edition, if possible, because I adored GTA Vice City. Still the best in the series to me, and
I agree.
GTA 3 is only just behind that. GTA 3, if only just because I can still now, and I've got recordings on my computer or copies of it of the radio stations like Flashback and FM. I know some of the songs off by heart, and Chatterbox when we're talking about squirrels, squirrels are not so good. It tastes like goldfish. You know what I mean?
No, but yeah, absolutely. But I'm wondering, how do you feel about the price, which is basically $60?
What?
Yeah, I mean, it's 3 games and they are
Yeah.
very large games.
I know,
So
but
they are old, of course.
Yeah.
no. I've seen the trailer. I don't know. It's a weird one. I think 60 is too much. 60 is too much. Because the massive overhaul that was done with, and I'm praising EA here, so you know how bad it gets. But the massive overhauls that were done for Command and Conquer the Command and Conquer Remastered Collection, which was 2 games, and that was not $60. I think that was 30 for 2 games. Now, fair enough. If Rockstar charged 45, I could live with that. 15 bucks per remaster, because there's no way that Rockstar went to as much effort. They'll have used mostly computer tools to do an overall, just upscaling or upsampling or super sampling, or I don't know, making a prayer god to the high vis texture departments. They'll have not gone to as much effort as some other remasters have gone to, and I think they are charging too much. Charging $20 a game, when you think about it in that sense, it doesn't sound as bad, but I think 15 per game, 45 would have been the right price, because 60 is a brand new game.
Yeah.
But they know they're going to sell it at
Yeah.
any price.
They are. Well, if I don't review it, if I don't get the free copy, I will be waiting until it's on sale. Simple as that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
To be fair, they are good games. So, and you're getting a lot of playtime out of them.
Yeah. It's
So it's not as controversial as it would have been with other games that are shorter.
No,
But
no.
they're going. It's going to sell. It's
It
going to
is.
sell a lot.
yeah, especially as they have removed the original games for sale. So
Yeah, you have no
Exactly.
choice but to buy these. Yeah, right.
yeah. But I mean, it's GTA, and there's a lot of people with also some nostalgia, for those older games. Especially Vice City, I'd say, because the atmosphere is different. But
Yeah.
Well, you know what? I'll just play the original Vice City. Fuck the remaster.
I'll just send you the review code, so you have no choice but to play the new one.
That works for me. That works for me.
Okay. So, other topics. We are quick today.
We are quick today. Well, the other thing that's interesting to me, and I suppose it's a bit damning, but especially considering I'm playing a Microsoft game, is the fact that Game Pass doesn't seem to be. It's below target, but I don't think the numbers are still bad. They wanted it. Yeah, it's below target, but they've still got 20 million subscribers. Not that bad,
Yeah.
really.
No, not bad. Perhaps, I mean, the Take-Two boss kind of ruined the image for them a bit, because he went on to say that it was almost like 30 million, and Phil Spencer was like, no. So I don't know why he said that, but
No.
yeah, and now we have learned that it's more like 20 million. But to be fair, this was back in June, and
True.
in the last few months, Game Pass really stepped up, I think, because they've been adding a ton of games, and even day one games, and also, Psychonauts 2, and also now Age of Empires, Forza Horizon 5, Halo 5, and also a ton of third-party games.
I can't review GTA. I'll have Forza to play. Damn.
Well, I'll take it then. I'll take it then.
You can have GTA.
Yeah.
I played the other Forzas, so it might. I am the racing person. I keep forgetting there's so many games. There's too many games.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I just don't know. Is that 20 million subscribers as of June? They probably have got more. I mean, Age of this will be live by the time it's this, but the game will be live by the time this goes out. But Age of Empires 4, I've been playing that, and it's bloody brilliant. It really is, and that's Game Pass.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like, even there actually is a reason for PC people to buy Game Pass.
Oh man, it's they've been, like I said, they've been adding a ton of great games, like Back 4 Blood Day One. Now also on PC we have Destiny 2 and all the expansions. Then the Rift Breaker, The Good Life, the new game.
I do need to play The Good Life. I'm gonna say, because when it's new games that people would have otherwise been. The sad reality is, and I mentioned this in the review, the fact, like 7 years ago, 2014, when Age of Empires Online was shut down, that like Microsoft looked like they absolutely despised the PC, and I would have preferred them. It was all games for Windows Live, and I think Tomb Raider was forced into it. You couldn't buy it anywhere apart from GFWL. They shut down. They'd already closed down Ensemble, who originally made Age of Empires. They were shutting down Age of Empires Online and a load of other games. They hated the PC. They would not do anything for it. And now we've got Gears Tactics, and an actual tactical game, which very good. I reviewed that 8 out of 10. Age of Empires 4 is just out. Well, it comes out tomorrow, but when this goes live, it'll have came out 3 days ago. Yeah, time travel. Fantastic game. And a masterful move by Microsoft bringing in Relic to develop it. But yeah, so I don't know. They've got some. They really are. Hell, I feel like I'm going to burn for saying this, but they're currently a publisher I trust.
How times change.
Yeah, I feel dirty now. I feel dirty.
Record this, Francesco. This is one for the ages.
Yeah.
I feel dirty.
But I feel the same. I used to be back in the Xbox 360 era. I used to say the same. It's Microsoft. Nowadays I say Microsoft. They're
Yeah.
doing they're doing good. I don't play many of their games, but they're doing good.
Don't get me
I
wrong, I'm
mean,
not going to
So
give them praise for anything by Bethesda because they just bought the company. That doesn't
yeah,
count.
well,
Same
well,
as I
yeah, that
can't give
doesn't
them
count.
praise for Psychonauts. Psychonauts 2, but like when it comes to games like Age of Empires and
Yeah,
yeah, Left 4 Dead 10, Back for Blood 3, whatever. Well, then again, that's decent, but yeah. But yeah, no, they're making the push. They're doing well, and the money's behind it. And
yeah,
yeah,
how much does
yeah.
Game Pass cost? No, normally I've been better paying for it for ages, and I don't even know how much I'm spending.
uh,
I think it's like €10 dollars per month, but I don't know the.
Yes,
yeah,
call it.
yeah. It's that.
I think it's a little over 100. I think per year, but
It's
I don't really remember.
yes, but there are like a lot of ways to pay less. That's the thing.
Yeah.
Hmm. So
So
even if we round it down, let's say £6, £6, $8, whatever you want to call it, but it's £6 a month. It's like that's £120 million a month they're getting. Call it $150 million a month
Mm.
they're getting from subscribers, and that's just based on that's just based on the 20 million figure. If it's got higher, that's a lot of money they're bringing in, and that's more than funding game development and anything else. There's no way that they're not making a lot of money out of it now. That's
Yeah,
from
yeah,
pure
but
business sense, yeah.
you know, I don't think it's still enough to. I don't think they're still making real money. They're just covering.
I would surely
I
think.
don't.
Hmm.
I don't know really. If you have to consider the Bethesda acquisition, they're not making money because
Okay, yeah.
they
If you consider that, they're not making money
yeah.
yet.
If we put everything together into it, it will still take some time for
I
them
just
to
mean from a profit
be
loss
profitable.
running
Yeah,
that side of the business thing, not including acquisitions. I would say they're making money.
yeah.
But to be fair,
Because they're going to make a lot of subscription. They're going to get a lot of subscription when Starfield, the Elder Scrolls 6, but
yeah,
that's going to take some time yet. We are 1 year away from Starfield. If it doesn't get delayed,
I'm just waiting for
so
them to make a deal with Sony for Game Pass to be on PlayStation. It's inevitable.
yeah. Now just Sony just opened up to PC gaming, so it's getting
yeah.
more likely.
Yeah.
On that
There's
note, we now have release date for God of War PC. That is
yeah.
so January 14th with NVIDIA DLSS and reflex support for Chris's joy. But yeah, it's going to have quite a few improvements. I think mostly graphics, right?
Yeah.
Ultra wide support. This one really for Chris's.
Yeah, that one's more for me.
Yeah.
Mm.
So yeah, they are doing it finally, and I'd say to anyone who hasn't played it yet because they didn't have a PlayStation console, it's absolutely worth it. So play it. It's a great game.
I'm going to play it again, and I just played it like
Data
last
boy.
year. I'm going to play it again. It's just too good, and with all these improvements, it will make sense to play it again
I'm going to call
for
it
me.
Sekiro will be announced for the PC in 2022. Sekiro probably announced and released on the PC in 2022, and I think games PS5 exclusives like Ratchet and Clank Returnal, is that what it's called?
Yeah,
Yeah,
but
that's
Yeah,
one. And I think
Return.
they will
Yeah.
be 2023.
I think by Sekiro you meant Ghost of Tsushima, right?
Yeah, that one. Whatever the silly Japanese thing is.
Yeah.
Japanese.
I don't know. There's too many games, and I've got yeah.
And it's getting old, so it
Well,
will
Yeah.
get.
no, I've not been drinking alcohol because I'm on painkillers. My brain's shutting down.
Yeah, well, it's easy to get, you know.
It's
Don't get
not. My
confused. There's
brain's
just
just
too much.
shutting
Yeah.
down. Like I've actually got like my blood alcohol levels all mixed up now. I've got more blood than alcohol.
You're probably confused because you're not drinking.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
You're not used to this.
Not right. I'm drinking water and pop and tea. I mean, I always drink tea, but life's not worth
Okay.
living anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, Ghost of Flange Factory, whatever ones you want to call it. 2022 for that, and Ratchet and Clank, Returnal, and are there any? Yeah, they'll probably be 2023. The only ones I'm
Demon's
not sure if they will come out, if they'll bring them on the PC, are the Spider-Man games. I don't know if that might be awkward due to licensing with Marvel.
Yeah, probably.
They're the only ones I'm not sure about, and that will be down to licensing, if anything else.
I mean, Marvel will be stupid not to get the PC sales as well.
I agree with
Eventually.
you. I
Yeah.
100% agree with you, but companies aren't that smart sometimes. The fact that
Yeah,
it's taken Sony this long to actually release games on the PC.
yeah. Well, this is because Japanese publishers don't see PC as a gaming machine. It's because the sales were always slow, so it took some time for them.
I think that
Then we
was.
went, yeah,
I
like
don't.
when Final Fantasy VII made it to PC back in the day, it was like everyone was shocked
I mean, I don't
because no
mean to
one
be
was expecting
offensive.
that.
I don't mean to be like offensive or anything, but part of that is because most modern PCs are as big as a Japanese room.
Yeah, that is another
That is, I was
issue.
going to say, it's just a sad reality is the fact that space is very much at a premium in that country.
Yeah, well, people. This is why cloud gaming. This is why probably getting back to Game Pass. It's probably going to do better in Japan now that they have cloud gaming support in Japan because people play on their phones,
They've got the
their smart
infrastructure there.
devices.
Thank you,
Because
Francesco.
they have great internet, so they
That was a good one. So now we are talking about GeForce Now
yeah.
because they have no, they seriously they have,
Unintentional
yeah.
segue.
yeah.
Yeah, I was meaning it.
So they are doing a new tier of a subscription, which is basically using the one of the strongest GPUs available, like 30, and basically it will allow you to stream at 1440p and also 120 hertz if you have such a display. So they're saying latency should even be lower than the other tiers. So it's you can even stream at 4K HDR, but only if you have a Shield TV device, basically the one made by NVIDIA. So it's another way to an interesting way, I'd say, to especially in this time where PC components, especially GPUs, are scarce. It's a way to allow everyone to play the games with great performance. And I don't even think it's that expensive because it's like $100 for 6 months. For 6 months. So basically, if you were building like a PC with those kind of specs, you'd need like I don't know 7 or 8 years of continued subscription to to get to the same price. So I think it could be worth it. It's an interesting another tier, interesting way to access games if you don't have a PC, of course, a gaming PC. And for example, they've also added support for New World on GeForce Now this week, and I've been in touch with quite a few friends and former guildmates who don't have the PC to play the game, but through GeForce Now they are now able to do it. They are now able to join, and I think cloud gaming really, it will take off. It will be slow but steady, but it is eventually going to possibly take a large percentage of the population, among gamers, especially casual ones, of course. But it will be huge.
I'm curious with it. The games, do you have to already own the games, or is it like Game Pass or anything like that?
No, you have to own the games
Yeah.
separately.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so so like Shadow then, like that was. You still had to own
Yeah.
the games, and then you just okay.
Yeah, you link your Steam accounts or whatever, and
Yeah,
then
fair enough. Yeah, it's one of those things that is you pay. You're just paying. You're essentially just renting a PC then, a
yeah,
virtual PC.
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty
Yeah, it's
much.
not a bad idea. It does suit, like you say, it suits for people who either don't have the money to invest and buy a PC, or a full massive PC, or it's just for people who don't want to have that space taken.
yeah,
It'll
and
probably never be for me for the simple fact that I like to have a PC because obviously you're doing that. You can play the games using GeForce now, but having the PC of it's video editing and everything like that. So,
oh no,
but I
yeah,
can understand it. Yeah, it's decent, and
yeah. I mean,
Nvidia have got the money to do it and fund it.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, it's also everyone with the MacBook, Mac, or even just PCs that don't really have a GPU, a dedicated GPU. So it's a lot. Yeah.
I've got a solution for them. Don't buy Apple shite. Scum company.
Okay, there it is, the Chris rant.
Yeah.
That wasn't a rant. That
Today.
was just a statement.
Yeah.
Apple is shit. I could rant, but I'd no rants about Apple. We'll do that another day.
Okay, so
Go on. Let's go on to the last. I think that we've got one more topic, and it is another streaming topic. Netflix. Hey. I
yeah,
don't believe
kind of.
them. I don't believe them because
So they have recently acquired the Night School Studio, the studio behind the Oxenfree, which is a nice little indie game.
very good
And
game to be fair. Very good.
in the latest earnings call, the executive said to investors basically they shouldn't expect an acquisition spree from Netflix. So they are planning to go slowly with the gaming business. They said it will take years for them to have a sizable amount of gaming content and
Yeah.
for gaming
Okay.
to be yeah.
I do believe them in that sense. It depends what you class as an acquisition spree. I think they're going to buy another studio or two. Yeah, probably one or two more studios because as good as Oxenfree was, you can't you want more than one game every few years really if you want to actually expand in the industry. So I can't see. I imagine that, or they'll at least sign some exclusivity deals with certain companies, or fund them as a traditional publisher sort of thing.
Yeah, I can see them also, continuing to do some of what they've already done, just on a larger scale. Like for example, with Narcos or with Stranger Things. They they did some adaptations. Of course, they weren't huge games. They maybe didn't have a large budget, but
The Narcos
maybe
game was atrocious.
maybe in the future they will give greater budget to these adaptations. Of course, they've said that to them the synergy between their TV shows, their movies, and the games will be important. So I'm expecting a lot of adaptations from their
Makes
IP.
sense.
They're going to make a Squid Game game. they are. There's no way they are not going to.
Well,
It's
I've already said that I would watch a I would watch a reality TV series based on Squid Game, obviously without the murder because you can't murder people on live TV, sadly. But I would watch. You could. What was it? Takeshi's Castle that used to be
yeah,
shown.
yeah,
That's
yeah.
perfect
It
for a
was.
Squid Game.
Yeah, they're going to make a game on it. There's no way they are not.
But
Really, it's Battle Royale too, so they're really going to make
yeah.
it. There's
But
no way they're
I'm
not.
also surprised that we haven't seen who was it who made Payday.
Uh,
Payday.
I,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
Can't remember the
don't remember
developers.
the.
They made that Walking Dead game as well, didn't they? Anyway, I'm surprised we haven't seen
Yeah.
a money heist game because that was La Casa de Papa. That was
Mm,
so popular, and it still is. And
Yeah.
like Payday would,
yeah.
yeah, it fits the format. I think they did have some skins based on that, but they definitely
Mm.
did for Rainbow Six Siege. But
Chris, what city would you be if you were in you know the series?
ooh, what city would I be? I don't know, to be honest.
Ma-
Uh,
Manchester.
probably a bit too close to home, that, because then they think, who's this bloody Northern England person? Well, it's obviously from Northern England. He speaks like that, and he's called himself Manchester, but probably would be
Yeah.
Manchester. And I'd also wear a Man U shirt.
Okay. But yeah.
I don't know.
Also, on other acquisition news, Suda's grasshopper manufacturer has been bought by NetEase. So there is that consolidation news as usual.
Everybody's buying everybody. I actually don't mind it. I really don't care when these Chinese companies buy somebody because they are very hands off. They've been. I've still not seen a single issue come. It frightens me when EA, Activision buy somebody because you think they're going to force them to work on either Call of Duty or something along those lines. They're going to force them out of their comfort zone, and then the company's going to get shut down. NetEase, yeah, just any of these companies. They're just hands off. They're just all they care about is, are you making money? Yes. Are you spreading our name around the globe and making people a bit more familiar with us? Yes. Crack on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it. Tencent, NetEase, they don't care. And it works for them. It's insidious because it's giving China and Chinese companies a lot of soft power. We're getting into geopolitics there. There's
Yeah.
soft power, hard power, everything. It's just a big discussion, but essentially, it's the brand of China is getting spread around, and people are becoming more familiar with it, which is a good thing. But eventually, people then forget about the atrocities that happened, and we can't go into that because that's a one long topic.
Yeah. It's
Um,
also
yeah.
a bit weird to see a Chinese company buy a Japanese company, because usually they would be they try to be kind of resistant to
Very much so.
do this.
I think with Grasshopper, because of their size and scale, I just don't think they're that. They're not. Obviously, they are Japanese, but they're not like. It would be more newsworthy and more if it was something like Konami or Sega or something like that, where they've actually got a physical presence there other than an office. Obviously, Konami's got hotels and casinos.
Yeah.
Sega's got their arcades.
Gyms.
Yeah, gyms as well. That's what I mean. So I don't think you're going to notice the cultural conflict that quickly. I think it would have been a bigger issue if it was a Korean company, though, because South Korea, and there's big issues. But it's the business world. I don't think anybody gives a shit anymore. People need to get it.
As long as the money comes in, they really don't care.
There's a lot of bad things that's happened in history, but I think people just realize, businesses just don't care. But yeah, no, we'll see. It'll be interesting. A lot of money behind Grasshopper could result in some very interesting games. A lot more budget. Yeah, I'm up for that.
Yeah. So, what have you been playing that you can talk about?
I've already talked about it. Age of Empires 4, because this podcast will be out after the review anyway. So it's great. It's great. I've been playing it, and the next yesterday, I played it from something like I played it at least 12 hours without looking away from my screen. I didn't. In fact, no, that's a lie. I went away from my screen one time to get a sandwich, and then then I played it again later on at night, and from about 10, from what we'll say about 10, half 10, 11 p.m. And then I looked up and it's like, oh shit, it's like 2:30 in the morning. I should probably sleep. And I've done that a few times already. It's always a good sign when a game does that to me. When I just look up and I'm like, ew, it's nearly morning.
Well, yeah, it tends to be.
Yeah.
But
and before that, there was the Dark Pictures House of Ashes, which is great. Really is great. The best Dark Pictures game so far, and easily up there with Until Dawn.
Cool. Yeah, I liked Until Dawn.
I'd recommend House of Ashes. Why? What have you been playing? As if I have to guess.
No, but other than New World, I've been playing Guardians of the Galaxy, so I can talk about that as well because that game will be out too by the time this goes live, and I really enjoyed it. To be honest, I mean it doesn't do anything groundbreaking in terms of gameplay or anything like that, but it's really fun. Of course, especially if you are into the characters. They are, I think, very well written. They fit very well within what we know of the Guardians. It's really a lot of fun the way they banter all the time during the gameplay. And the combat is fun as well, especially once you understand it. It's basically a lot like I don't know, perhaps like Dragon Age without the RPG part, because you basically have to manage all of the party. So you are, I don't know, asking Groot, for example, to root some enemies, and then you ask Rocket to put grenades on them so they explode. So they have like combos, stuff like that. It's pretty fun, although it is not possibly challenging enough. That may be one of the flaws, perhaps. But yeah, like I said, it's I really liked it. The story was great, I think, and the music is also very, very on point. I'd say there's a lot of great 80s music,
I might have to
and
play it.
I mean, yeah, we also have even some original music that was done specifically for the game, because like in the game, Star-Lord picked his name out of basically a metal band, before he left Earth. So that was that was the reason he picked up Star-Lord, and basically they composed some some songs, in the fictional with this fictional band. So it's I think it will be well received. I'd say. It's I mean, for me it's an 8 out of 10. So it's definitely not nearly as underwhelming as the other one.
The other one. The dead one. It is. It's dead. I discussed that.
Yeah.
I said that in the last podcast or before. It's dead. It's shit. Go on, Francesco. What are you playing? Are you playing Avengers?
Yes. No, I never played that. I never played that. I'm checking if I can talk about anything. Yeah, I can. I've been playing Shin Megami Tensei 5. And I can't talk very much about it because we're still in the preview time frame, so I can only talk about the very early game. But so far, I'm really, really impressed by the game. It doesn't move that much farther from the previous entries in the series, but it has the very first map you get into, it's open. You can go, you can reach the goal in different ways. There is a lot of side quests right from the start. It doesn't feel linear. It is linear, but it doesn't feel linear at all. It has a great sense of scale. It's completely different from modern RPGs, JRPGs that it's just corridors. It feels it really feels it feels like Atlus finally showed how it's possible to make a JRPG now with modern graphics that doesn't feel small, because this is an issue I've been seeing in pretty much every game I've played this year. Even Tales of Arise that I love, Final Fantasy VII Remake, they feel small. They just don't have that sense of scale that older JRPGs had. And Shin Megami Tensei 5 does feel like that. So I don't know if it's going to hold up further in the game, but so far I really, really, really like this, especially this thing. But for the rest, it's just people that played Persona will enjoy it, but probably not as much because it doesn't have all the social life stuff. It's more hardcore in that sense, and it's way more challenging.
Sounds interesting to me.
Yeah, the basics are pretty much the same. The combat system is the same. You have demon fusion as well. I think it could be the game that makes the series popular in the West. Not as much as Persona, because Persona is. I don't think it's going to be reached that easily, but this one is probably going to make it. And it's on a console that has sold, that is selling well, so probably they will see some success. So yeah, Nintendo made the right choice in getting the game on Switch.
I do wonder. No, I do wonder if eventually the game will be on PC, because I think they released one of the earlier games on PC a while ago.
Yeah, but I don't know. Yeah, it was a remaster and it was multi-platform to begin with. They announced it on everything. It was the remaster of Shin Megami Tensei 3. I don't know. 4 has only been released on the 3DS. 4 and its sequel. I don't know. It depends. Okay, I can't talk about that. I was going to say something, but we're going to talk about that next week because I can't talk about that.
Okay.
Yeah, I can't talk about that. We have to talk about it next.
Moving on.
Yeah, moving on. I can't.
Next week then.
Yeah. Well, and together with this, I finally done with Yakuza 0, and I wanted to take a little break from the series, but then I saw the ending, and I said, no, I want to see what happens next. So I bought Yakuza Kiwami. Yeah.
I say you can't take a break.
Yeah, I don't want to take a break. I wanted, but Then I said, no, I want to see what happens next. So I bought
He wants to
Yakuza
leave.
Kiwami. Yeah, I'm addicted. I just like it. I didn't expect to like it this much because I remember I tried to. I don't remember if it was Yakuza 0 or something else. I tried it at Gamescom when I went in 2016. I don't remember which one, and I didn't like it at all.
The
Really,
problem
did
is
not.
games like Yakuza, because they're
Yeah, you need
so
to spend time with it.
so character focused and
Yeah,
everything. Yeah, you need time with them. You can't just play them for half an hour. And I mean, yes,
yeah,
you
it's
can. If
just
you enjoy the brawler style combat, then you can probably enjoy them for half an hour. But
yeah.
yeah,
So yeah, I started Yakuza Kiwami, and we'll see how it goes. But
Well,
I have become a Yakuza fan. Yeah, no doubt.
okay. On that note, I'd say it might be all we have for today, unless
Yeah.
anyone has got anything to add.
nothing from
No,
myself. Nothing from myself.
no, not for me. Yeah.
Okay.
Fair enough. In that case, then yeah. Well, thank you all, and yeah, see you next time. And hopefully, I will not be in a footcast next time.
Fingers crossed.
I mean, well, yeah, I might just start drinking again. Yeah, works for me. On that note. Oh no. Oh dear. On that note, see you all next time.
Bye.
Bye.